All right, my dad asked for some pound cake, so I'm gonna make some for him. This is the craziest recipe I've ever seen with the ingredients. 6 eggs, lots of sugar, lots of butter. It's the worst thing that you can ever eat. So moderation is key. One thing I learned in cooking is making sure everything has its place. And I learned from a chef Proto who talks about mise en place. Highly recommend getting yourself organized before you start cooking. It helps tremendously. This recipe calls for 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of cake flour. I don't have cake flour. However, I read where you can measure 1 cup of all-purpose flour, then scoop out and remove 2 tablespoons. Now add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. The key is to let things get to room temperature. The butter and the eggs should all be pretty easy to mix in. Now 1 cup of granulated sugar. All right, once you get all that sifted up, add the butter, room temperature. These were not room temperature, they were close. And then you cut all that up, put it in the mixing bowl. And one thing I'm still getting used to is having a mixer. I was using a bowl to put everything in, and then I put that into this bowl, the mixing bowl. So again, 2 sticks of butter. You're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract, which is the lid. So if you just pour the vanilla extract into the lid, that's pretty much a teaspoon. The more you know. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I put it in a little Ziploc baggie. I'm sure the DEA won't find that amusing. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. This one calls for 6 eggs, 3 eggs, and 3 egg yolks. Yeah, this is not great for you. As long as you don't eat this whole thing in one sitting, you'll be fine. Once that's done, I kind of whisk it up and then realize that I probably should have waited a little bit longer on the butter to add it. And I add the eggs, 1/4 cup of whole milk, and then mix that stuff up. I struggle a little bit with the camera angles on this video, so sorry about that. I had to switch attachments because of the butter. It wasn't blending right, so I put the other attachment on, and it worked out, but it took a lot longer to blend than I would like. Just gotta wait. Then I use a stick of butter to grease the pan. Now the recipe said 350 for 30 minutes. What it said. So I did that. I used a toothpick and it was coming out moist still. And yeah, it was not great. I messed this up. Yep, look at that. Whoops. So I put it back in the oven and recook it. It took forever. I highly recommend the recipe that's at the end of this video. But this is the second attempt. It came out way better. An hour in the oven. Still probably could have been a little bit, but here's my dad's review. And my mom just sent me this, which is the actual almost 100-year-old recipe, great-grandfather, his recipe, and it's an hour and 10 minutes. So I made a couple mistakes, but you learn from it and move on. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.